Good morning, everybody. Out for a walk with Perfect Penny. Walk along the beans. It's a beautiful day, as always. It's summertime, upstate New York. Yesterday I was talking to a couple of people that I work with at my current company, and they were telling me how important they were to the company. And it reminded me of a story. When I was going to school, there was a great technical director that was a non-traditional student coming back to school. And he was just trying to get a degree. So, he was trying to further his career. Really great guy named Tom Carroll. Amazing guy. He's since passed away, and it was a tragic loss. But Tom was this kind of guy. I don't know if anybody's ever worked in TV, but one of the first things you learn in TV, and it's one of the most important things you do, is over-undering a cable. And there's a certain art form to it. And we're all in college, and we're all doing it. And Tom, of course, knew how to do it easy. And Tom kind of almost taught classes in college. So I was really lucky to have this guy, this wealth of knowledge, teaching us. And so you take the cable and you kind of flip it over and then twist your hand as you flip the next one, and do that over and over and over again until you roll the whole cable up. And I sat there and I did it, and I did it. And I finally got this long cable done, and Tom looked over at me and he goes, "Nice job." He took the cable, flung it out, and straightened it all out again and said, "Do it again." And that's the kind of guy Tom was. But the story was, one time he told me about back in when he worked at a TV station, himself, he was the lead director, or he was the lead technical director. The lead director, the senior graphic guy, and the senior 5 p.m. producer all had a coup and quit on the news director. There was some kind of problem with the news director, and they said they just were done with it. They were fed up. So they all quit together, and I guess as the story went, they all got together and went to a bar and watched the news that night. And I guess the 5 p.m. news was a mess. It was a shambles. There was missed punches, there was graphics every which way, there was wrong stories, wrong headlines, everything was messed up. They had the wrong opens running. And he told me this story and was laughing about it. But what's funny is I never even heard the story that he said, because the second he said, we watched the 5 p.m. news, the only thing I heard was, wait, all these people quit, and the 5 p.m. news still went on with no problem. I knew at that point, I was like, wow, people always value themselves more at a company than they're worth. It's not that everyone's replaceable. That's not what I mean. But the life goes on. The job has to go on. The business has to move on. So you just got to keep that in your mind. So just know that if you leave tomorrow, it's still going to get done. Somebody else has got to do it, or do it differently, or get it done somehow. So just always keep that in your mind when you're thinking about business. And it is something that's why I do my little three note focus on my desk. I have a little Post-it note, and I have 3 notes written on my Post-it note. Currently, I'm a lead generation marketer. So the first thing on my Post-it note, it says leads. The second thing that is always super important, especially in marketing, is it says positive. So it reminds me every day to stay positive. Stay the course, stay positive. And I'm pretty good about doing that. The third thing that's written on there is church. Now, I'm not the biggest religious guy in the world, but I do know how you treat people in church. And that's important. So I always try to remember, would I say this to this person in church? And would I treat this person the way in church? And probably not. So it's really easy if you keep those 3 things in mind. So whatever your main thing is, positive, and then church. Throw it on there. Even if you're not religious, just say, I got to treat people like I was in church. And it changes how you interact with everybody. It's really kind of a cool little trick. What's your trick to staying positive and treating people the right way?